everyone. Thank you for joining me. My name is Kassandra. This is a 15-minute full body flexibility routine. So a deep stretch for all levels, no props required. This is a great routine. You can do it at any time during the day. So it would make a great morning practice, but it also might feel really good towards the end of the day after you've been at work and are trying to wind down and maybe have built up a little bit of stiffness and soreness throughout the day. So works beautifully one way or the other. No props required. Let's actually start lying down on our stomach here. We're going to start in sphinx pose. So just trying to open a little bit through the upper back. You can bring your elbows, forearms, palms pressing down on the mat. Think of pushing a little bit as well into the tops of the feet and pull the heart forward as we roll the shoulders back and lift up. Crown of the head reaching up towards the ceiling. Think of almost pushing down into your hip bones, into the pubic bone, so that we're not crumpling or caving into that lower back, causing any kind of pinching or tension. Instead, think of creating space through this pose, a nice lift through the chest, 3 deep breaths in here. Pressing the shoulders down and away from the ears. And your next exhale pulls you all the way down. We'll find a little quad stretch, so you might want to just pad your forehead, one hand over the other so you can rest your head down. We're going to pull the right foot in towards you. So I'm reaching my right heel towards my right glute, trying to keep my knees hip width distance apart. And same as in our back bend here, think of pushing down into those hip bones, into the pubic bone, and also pushing down into that right knee, right thigh. So big opening through the front of that right thigh into the hip flexors and the quads. And let's carefully release that side. We'll go do the same thing over to the left. So I'm going to switch my arms and hands. My left hand reaches back to grab a hold of my left foot as I pull it in, anchoring through the hip bones. Slow, steady breaths in and out through your nose. We use our breath to encourage ourselves to let go and release tension. And releasing the hold of that left foot. Let's widen our hands off of the mat, come up onto the fingertips, little spider cobras. So as you inhale, press and lift yourself up into a little back bend. Exhale, melt it forward and down. 3 more like this. Inhale, rippling like a wave. And down. Twice more. Inhale to lift. And lower. Last one. Let's press it back, child's pose, big toes together. You can widen your knees towards the edges of the mat for a deeper stretch through the inner thighs, pressing the hips back towards our heels, stretching the arms out in front of us. Think of almost pushing down through your shoulders and armpits so that you're inviting an opening into those shoulders, through the upper back. And one more breath in here. And let's lift ourselves up, tabletop stance onto hands and knees. We'll come into thread the needle, focusing a little bit more on the upper back before we shift gears and focus on our hips and hamstrings. Reach your right arm up towards the sky. And then we're going to thread that arm underneath us, shoulder and ear come down to the floor. As you lower, you'll notice your hips want to rock to the left. I want you to push out into that right hip and think of pressing down into your left palm, pressing down into the back of this right arm. Still pressing your shoulders away from your ears so we're not overly tense and shortening through our neck. Relaxing the jaw. Let's push a little more into our left hand to slowly lift ourselves all the way back up. Re-extend that right arm up. Notice if there's a little bit of a difference. And we'll set it down. Second side, left arm rises. And let's thread it through. Shoulder and ear come down to the mat. Pushing out into that left hip, into the right palm, and into the back of that arm against the mat so that you're really creating space between both shoulder blades. And we push into our right hand to lift ourselves up, reopening that left arm. From tabletop stance, we'll step that right foot forward between the palms to the top of the mat, just finding a little low lunge variation. We'll keep our fingertips down on the mat for this one. Make sure you're aligning your knee over your ankle. Pulling the chest forward. Tucking the back toes under, we're coming from here into our three-legged dog. So planting the palms, we're gonna step that right leg all the way up and back, bend your right knee, open up your hip, and think of almost squeezing your heel towards your seat, almost like that pose we did at the beginning of class when we were on our belly, so that you're even getting a quad stretch here. Into our warrior two, right foot will step forward to the top of the mat. Back foot spins parallel to the shorter edge of your mat as you lift yourself up. Palms facing down, arms are open. Let's reverse from here. Left hand down, right arm up. Back to your warrior two. Let's straighten that front leg into triangle pose. Lean that right arm forward and down. Left arm stretches up to the sky. If you want to add a little half bind here, you can bring your left hand to your lower back, reaching for that inner right thigh crease. If that's too much, leave it out. We just have one more breath here, stretching through those hamstrings, lengthening the spine. Look down at the floor to help with balance. Bend into your front knee. We're going to frame that front foot. Downward facing dog. Stretching it out in your downward dog. And let's bring our knees to the mat. Tabletop stance. Setting ourselves up the other way. Let's step the left foot forward between the palms. So in our low lunge, keeping the fingertips down on the mat, just inviting those hips to melt a little bit more. And with a little tuck of those back toes so that you can lift your back knee off the mat, we find our three-legged dog from here. Plant the palms. Left foot swings all the way up and back. Bend your left knee, open up that hip. Think of squeezing your heel in towards the seat. Getting that knee up even higher. Warrior two, left foot between the hands at the top of the mat. Back foot spins parallel to the shorter edge of your mat. Arms reach out nice and long, aligning our shoulders over our hips. Let's reverse, right hand down, left arm stretches up. Big side bend here, still bending into our left knee. From your warrior two, we straighten that front leg. We find this wider variation of triangle pose. I'm gonna lean my left hand, arm forward and down. Right arm can either stay up towards the ceiling, or you can find that half bind, bringing the right hand towards your lower back, maybe reaching for that inner left thigh crease. And we all look down to help with balance and support here through the transition. Bend into that front knee, frame the front foot with both palms, step it back, downward facing dog. And from this downward dog, let's bring our knees down to the mat. Extend your legs out in front of you into your staff pose. Into a twist from here, bend your right knee, cross your right foot over the top of that left thigh. You can wrap your left arm around that right knee, right hand back behind you for support as you twist here. Think of lifting taller through your spine. And now facing forward into a seated hip opener. I'm going to give you guys some options here. Bend into your left knee and see if you can stack right knee on top of the left for this cow face pose. Walking the hands out in front of us and folding down. If this is not working today, instead, you're just going to cross your right shin, have it slightly staggered in front of the left, and work on the forward fold from here. So both poses help target the outer glute, outer hip, but this knee pile or cow face pose variation is much more intense. If it's too much, leave it out. It's something to work towards. Maybe the more you do this sequence, you'll be able to gradually notice your body softening and opening up. Three more breaths here. And we'll push our hands into the mat. Slowly lift yourself up and back into your staff pose. Both legs straight out in front of you, pressing the palms into the floor, lifting tall through your spine. And we twist from here. So left knee bends, cross that left foot over the thigh, wrap your right arm around the leg. Think of lengthening up first and then going around as you twist. So my hips are still facing forward towards the top of the mat, and I'm really just isolating through that mid and upper back to rotate. Releasing the twist into the hip opener of your choice. So either bending your right knee and this time stacking that left knee over the right one, or you're just crossing your legs and bringing that left shin in front of the right. Forward fold in either of those poses. You might notice one side feels a bit stiffer than the other. It's quite common. 2 more breaths here. And we'll start to lift ourselves up. And we'll be coming to lay down on our backs. Take your little staff pose here. Find that length, pushing into the heels, pushing into the palms. And we'll lower down onto our backs. Draw your knees in towards your chest when you get there. You can widen your knees towards shoulders and armpits, either staying here or finding your happy baby pose, grabbing a hold of big toes, the ankles, the shins. I'm using my elbows to press my thighs open while still keeping my tailbone pressing into the mat. So the entire length of my spine is supported. Depending on the flexibility that you have, you might work on straightening one leg at a time in this happy baby stance, and maybe straightening both legs as you open up into this reclined straddle pose. And we'll bend into the knees. Slowly, we bring the feet flat to the floor. You can find a little windshield wiper motion, dropping the knees and thighs side to side, just to release the lower back. And we will be coming into Shavasana. So take up some space, get yourself comfortable. About 2.5, 3 minutes here for you to simply rest fully, relaxing each muscle as you let yourself get heavier and heavier. Feeling the effects of even just this short practice. Maybe keep your focus simply on the flow of your breath. I'll let you know when it's time to reawaken, and we'll close this class together by chanting Om. And let's deepen our breath. Waking ourselves up. Moving a little. Maybe stretch your arms up overhead, arching through your lower back, pointing through your toes. And we'll turn to one side, coming up to take a seat. Sitting up nice and tall. Close your eyes, hands at your heart. Let's chant Om together one time. We inhale to chant. Breathe in. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing this short, everyday flexibility routine. I hope you enjoyed it and that you feel really stretchy and comfortable in your body. I have plenty of these classes on my channel, so I'll link to some playlists down below. If you wanted to make this a daily habit, please subscribe, and hopefully we'll meet on the mat again very soon.